So let me go ahead and get started. I want to let our faculty introduce themselves and let them say a little bit about themselves. So we'll start with our Dr. Mariela Rodriguez, who is our graduate advisor of record for our doctoral program.
Thank you, Joanne. Hi, everyone. I'm Mariela Rodriguez. In the fall, I'll be starting my 16th year in the Department of Ed Leadership at UTSA. And I'm excited to welcome our current students for taking the time to join us today and looking forward to welcoming prospective students soon.
All right, I'm Dr. Vanjie Aguilera, who is our graduate advisor of record for our Master of Education and Educational Leadership program.
Welcome. I'm Vanjie Aguilera. This is going on my 4th year at UTSA full-time after being a full-time school district administrator. So I work primarily with the K-12 and very much in the principal preparation and part of the superintendency preparation. So those of you that are working on a principal certification with your masters, welcome, and we'll be in touch.
All right, we'll try Dr. Merchant one more time.
I got it. My computer has been giving me problems all morning. Sorry about that. So yeah, I'm Betty Merchant. Good morning. Happy to have you all here. And yeah, I'm going on my 21st year at UTSA. Amazing how time flies. And I'm a professor on the K through 12 leadership side of the house. So happy to have you here and look forward to the sharing time together.
Wonderful. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with our PowerPoint presentation that'll go over all of our programs. Let me see if I can share the screen. So hopefully you're seeing what I'm seeing. Let me minimize this really quickly and we'll get this PowerPoint pulled up. So I'm going to stop my video really quickly so I can focus on this. So let me get started on the, let me go back. Let me go back to the beginning, that would help. So again, this is the Department of Educational Leadership and Policy Studies. And so our agenda for today is, I'm gonna let you know a little bit about the department itself. I'm gonna go through each of our programs that we offer, and then I'll talk about the application. We'll hear from some of our awesome current students that are joining us, and then we'll open that up for the Q&A for if you have any questions for any of us, and we're happy to answer it as best as possible. So before we let me move this just a little bit out of the way, get started, I wanna make sure that you're in the right information session. So again, I know Chris had gone through this in the main session. So we do have that PhD in Educational Leadership. We have 2 Master of Education, 1 in Educational Leadership and 1 in Higher Education Administration. We have the Graduate Certificate and Higher Education Administration, and we do have those certification options, certification only, which would include superintendency certification and principal certification. So if you are needing a different program, I'm gonna keep this up for a couple of seconds there so you can hop on, grab that meeting ID and that password, or I'm not sure if the links are active or you can click those links, but I wanna make sure that you're in the right place. It sounds like it so far. From those of you that introduced yourselves, which is really perfect. So let me get started. Just a little bit about the department itself. I have our wonderful faculty here. We have awesome faculty, if I do say so myself, that are really, really invested into each of you and all of our students. So throughout your time here, you'll work with a number of our faculty members, have them for classes and even interact with them as well, or even do research with them, which is really wonderful. I'll talk a little bit about the research areas in just a little bit. So the department itself is focused on leadership, educational leadership, both in K-12 institutions, at the district level, and even in higher education settings like colleges, universities, even nonprofits. It's very much a social justice and equity-oriented program, and that's very much evident and throughout all of the curriculum and the classes that you'll be taking. It's woven in throughout the discussions you'll have in the classes. And as a department, we really do try to prepare leaders, student-centered leaders, to really address those systemic issues that impact education in general, but also educational equity, effectiveness, and achievement. So again, I had mentioned that we saw some of our faculty, we met some of our faculty. So they have a wide range of research expertise, including P20 school-university collaborations, leadership preparation, educational law and ethics, intersectionality, critical race studies, mentoring, successful principals, education and human rights, school climate, and creating change. Our faculty are really great about bringing in their research backgrounds and expertise into the courses that you'll be taking with them. And there are a lot of opportunities in the classes and even outside of classes to really engage in research with the faculty members. So it'll really give, especially if you're interested in any of these areas yourself. So some of the benefits of attending our programs is the network. We have a huge network of people in the community, and not just the San Antonio community, but beyond, of school leaders, principals, superintendents, community, college, and higher education administrators that have started here at UTSA and have done their degrees here and have gone on and done really amazing things in the community. So you'll join that network and you'll start to build those connections, both personal and professional. Again, our faculty are wonderful, they're award-winning, and they have done such great work inside and outside of the classroom. And a really great thing is that we have a cohort model. So what that does is you start, and throughout the whole program, you stay with your cohort. So you create this network of individuals that you have within your class, with your classmates, and you'll be able to lean on them, and you learn a lot from them, and you can build that network yourself, especially once you get ready to graduate and you're going to go out in the job market. You have these personal and professional connections as well through your classmates. So again, these are the programs that we offer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each one of them just to give you a little bit of information, the admissions requirements for those. Dr. Rodriguez will speak a little bit about the PhD program, and then we'll talk about the application. So first things first is our Master of Education and Educational Leadership program. So I know Chris mentioned that there are different emphases for this program. The first is the educational leadership emphasis that comes along with principal certification. So what this particular degree does, it prepares graduates for leadership positions in K-12 schools, vice principals, principal positions. The admissions requirements are a 3.0 GPA or higher in your bachelor's degree, a resume, and then your statement of purpose. That statement of purpose, and you'll see statement of purpose throughout all of our programs that we do require statement of purpose. It's really speaking to what your background is, what you're hoping to get from this program, some of your professional goals, so we can make sure that we're helping you achieve those goals while you're in the program. This program does have fall and spring admissions, and the program is 36 hours total. Now, part of this is that principal certification component, and you will have a 2-semester long practicum course if you're wanting to do that certification component aspect of it. So some of the highlights of this program are principal certification exam workshops to really help you prepare to take those exams when you get ready for that certification. Again, that 2-semester practicum, you complete 160-hour field work, which is required by the Texas Education Agency under the mentorship of you'll have a UTSA instructor, but you'll also have a mentor at your specific campus. You'll do different classroom observations, campus-based projects, some analysis, community outreach, all built into that 160-hour requirement. We also have resume and interview workshop, which is really, really wonderful. It basically, what happens is that we bring in human resources professionals and other district level professionals from districts around the city of San Antonio, and you can do mock interviews, and it kind of gets you prepared for when you go out on the job market to find these administrative positions, to really make sure you're prepared and you know what to expect, so you don't go in blind. We do, as part of that, the coursework. Again, we have AELT test appraiser certification. So that is built into one of the courses that we offer for the educational leadership program. And our faculty, I know Dr. Aguilar was a former school district administrator. And so a lot of our faculty are former school district administrators or superintendents and principals, and can help you connect to some of those individuals also throughout the districts. What we're hoping to start this fall also is our policy and advocacy emphasis. So it's the same Master of Education, Educational Leadership, but your emphasis will be in policy and advocacy. So those are the people that are interested in policy making, even being advocates of those. That this one does not lead to principal certification. The requirements are the same as the admissions requirements for the principal certificate, or for the educational leadership emphasis. And that's a 3.0 GPA in your bachelor's degree, a resume, a statement of purpose. We're hoping to start our very first cohort this fall 2020, and the program is a total of 36 hours. So we do have certification only programs also as well in our college or department. The first is a principal certification only program, and that's for if you have come in with your master's already. So master's degree is required for the certification only for principal certification. A 3.0 GPA or higher in that master's degree, 2 years of teaching experience, and a valid Texas teaching certification. And those are required by TEA in order for you to be admitted to the principal certification program. That has fall and spring admissions. You apply as a special graduate student. I know Chris briefly mentioned that. It's not a degree seeking program, it's a non-degree seeking program. So you would apply as a special graduate for educational leadership. The principal certification program is a total of 15 hours, and within those 15 hours is that 2-semester long practicum. We also have our superintendent certification program, and that also requires a master's degree, a 3.0 higher GPA in that master's degree, and it requires you to have that mid-management or principal certification. This program is a cohort, so it's fall only admission. You apply again as a special graduate student. It is 15 hours, and that also includes a 2-semester long practicum as well. If you were to do this program and you wanted to later say, hey, I want to do the doctoral program, if you apply to that doctoral program and are admitted up to 12 hours from the superintendent certification program, so all the coursework, with the exception of the practicum, can be applied towards the PhD program if you are admitted. So next we're switching gears to our Master of Education in Higher Education program. Again, this is for those that really are interested in working in higher education institutions and in that environment, for people that are interested in student activities or student affairs, career counseling, academic advising, those sorts of career paths and positions. This is the perfect degree for you. It is 36 hours total, including 12 courses. And within this program, you will have 2 different internship experiences, which give you really great hands-on experience in different areas of universities. So the admissions requirements of this is a 3.0 GPA in your bachelor's degree, 1 year experience within the higher education field. Now, this is not inclusive of just paid full-time experience. It could include if you did volunteer work, if you were part of a student organization, if you did work study or did some kind of student assistant position. We look at all that. We just basically want to make sure that you are this is the field that you're interested, that you're wanting to pursue this as a career. And this also has fall and spring admissions only. So some of the highlights are, you get to where a lot of our faculty are connected with administrators and higher education and student affairs professionals. We have partnerships within different offices throughout the university. We have a lot of current staff members throughout and all the student affairs, student activities areas that are actual alumni of the program. And so we have that really great connection to, all the different offices within the university, but also outside the university. We have graduates that have positions at the UT Health Science Center, at Trinity University, at St. Mary's University. There are graduate assistantships also that we share throughout our listserv. I know Chris had mentioned graduate assistantships. I regularly share those with all of our students. And those are offices all around campus, and I can help you get connected if there's a specific office you wanted to work in. And again, with that internship too, you do get those hands-on experience working in different areas of the university. With this, we also have a graduate certificate in higher education administration. Now, this is designed for those that kind of want to supplement if they maybe already have a master's, or if they're just interested in getting kind of like an overview look at higher education. It's a 15-hour program, so it's 5 courses total, and it is a non-degree program. So you would apply for the graduate certificate program specifically. And with that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Rodriguez.
Thank you, Joanne. And thanks again, everyone, for joining us today. Here my portion with a PhD in educational leadership. Thank you, Joanne. So the program, of course, consists of 60 credit hours. We're very excited about our doctoral program. We're going to be welcoming Cohort 23 in the fall, so exciting about that. And so in our doctoral program, you'd be able to see different courses regarding, of course, higher ed or K-12 leadership, definitely school culture and methodology. And our program does offer the emphasis in both pre-K through 12 and higher ed. So our admissions requirements for our doctoral program definitely would have that you already possess a master's degree in education or a related field. We look for a 3.5 GPA in that master's degree. And so, of course, would seek official transcripts, GRE scores, and you can use some that are less than 5 years old and apply those to the application. As Joanne spoke earlier regarding our other programs, there is a statement of purpose, and there are some key areas that need to be covered in both the K-12 application or the higher ed administration application. So be sure to reach out to either Joanne or myself regarding the statement of purpose for the PhD in the particular program area. We seek 3 letters of recommendation. One of those should be from a former professor, instructor, who can speak to your writing level, to your potential for success in the doctoral program. And then, of course, your resume indicating leadership experience, etc. It is a fall-only admission, and our next application due date would be in February of 2021 to begin in fall of 2021. We're ready to hit the 200 mark with our doctoral alumni, which is very exciting for the faculty and for our current students to see that it can be done. I know there's a couple of doctoral students with us on the screen today, and yes, there is light at the end of the tunnel, my friends. So we have about 180 graduates, and we have 3 who graduated this past week with their doctorate, so we're very excited for them as well. And we'll have some other grads in the summer and in the fall. And so our doctoral alumni have gone to careers in the superintendency, back to school level leadership, central office program coordinators, university administrators, and university faculty. Another key aspect of our program is that we do offer doctoral fellowships, always, of course, pending availability of funding. But these doctoral fellowships allow for full-time study. We have one of our fellows online with us today who can talk later. And so the fellowships allow persons to study full-time in the doctoral program and work collaboratively with faculty research. We also then, of course, develop a professional network, not only within the educational leadership field, both in K-12 and higher ed, and amongst our students.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rodriguez. So again, I know Chris went over this too, but I just kind of want to reiterate some points about how to apply. So all the applications are all done through the UTSA Graduate School website, and that is a link there. And after we're done with this, I'll go ahead and share with you all the link to that, as well as a copy of this PowerPoint. So you kind of have those links readily available. We are still accepting applications for domestic applicants for our Master of Education and Educational Leadership, both different emphases, educational leadership and the policy emphasis, the Master of Education, Higher Education Administration, principal or superintendent certification only, which are the special graduates, and our graduate certificate in higher education administration. That fall 2020 deadline is August the 1st, 2020. Now, for those who aren't quite ready to start in the fall, that application we're hoping will be up in September of 2020 for spring 2021 and fall 2021 applicants, both international and domestic. And for our PhD in Educational Leadership program, they have a slightly different deadline that's a little bit earlier, and that's February 1, 2021. And that's all materials, including your resume, statement of purpose, your transcripts, your GRE scores, and the application itself all need to be submitted by that date. So for more information, I also included all of our information here. Again, we were joined by Dr. Rodriguez and Dr. Aguilera, but we also have Dr. Mark Giles, who is the Graduate Advisor of Record for the Higher Education Administration Program. And of course, you also have myself. It's joanne.jones@utsa.edu. Any questions you have, you're always welcome to send me an email, and I'm happy to help. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end sharing my screen really quickly, and we're going to give our wonderful students a chance to speak. And first let's have Miss Jillian Huddleston, who's one of our doctoral students and who also just finished the superintendent certification program.
Yeah, so I'm a third-year doctoral student. Two of my committee members are here. Dr. Rodriguez is my co-chair, and then Dr. Merchant is on my committee. So that's always nice to see them. I have really enjoyed the program. I felt like I've grown a lot professionally and my thinking and how I can help with social justice issues at my level. I'm a vice principal, and so I see opportunities to do that every single day in my work. And as I help grow future leaders and encourage teachers to also continue their education through master's degrees and through doctoral degrees as well. So Joanne, you were completely correct about the relationships you get to build with your cohort members. I think that I can contact anyone in my cohort anytime, probably for the rest of my life. When we started in an information session very similar to this, several of us didn't know each other, but we kind of made a pact. Okay, we're going to do this, and we're going to make sure we all stay in the program. And I don't believe that anyone has left the program. Some people had to make a side journey, and then they're coming back. And then the superintendency program, that was a wonderful experience too. The connections I made in that program in just a year, I also think are lifelong. There were 14 of us, and the experiences we had with different leadership opportunities at the district level are kind of life-changing, and through the state and going to, for example, the TASA conference. So I would highly recommend this. It's going to be a lot of work. It's worth it. Their support, and just reach out to your cohort members because you guys will help each other keep you up and keep you going. And then if there was a tip I could give, I would recommend anytime you have to write a paper, try to align it to your dissertation research topic because that's going to help. And don't throw out any readings you've ever read in any of your classes because you never know when they're going to come back and help you with your thinking.
Thank you so much, Jillian. So now I'm going to have another doctoral student with us is Joshua Anzaldua, and he is on the higher education administration emphasis side.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, it's good to see y'all. My name is Joshua Anzaldua. I am about to finish my second academic school year in the doctoral program. Super excited about that. I am one of the doctoral fellows. It's a 3-year fellowship, so I'm going into my 3rd year. Am I supposed to talk a little bit about that, or are we saving that for a quick Q&A?
Go ahead. You have the floor.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the fellowship requires students to and be enrolled full-time in the doctoral program. It's really unique. I've enjoyed it so far. I've had experiences as it comes with a GRA ship, so graduate research assistantship. I've worked with different faculty on just amazing projects, research projects, things like that. I've been able to conduct my own independent research as well through their guidance. So it's a very unique opportunity. And if there's any opportunity that you would want to pursue experiences as a researcher, I definitely encourage you to apply for the fellowship. But my experiences in the classroom, like Jillian said, she said, the cohort is such a powerful model. Everyone becomes each other's support system. When we're feeling overwhelmed with life, family, especially during this pandemic, right? We have each other to really help support each other, to get feedback on our papers and things like that. So I'm a big fan of the cohort model. Let's see, what else can I say? Jillian said anything about your writing. So if you have a specific research interest, right? We encourage you to write about that in your papers. I have a lot of research interests, so it's been challenging for me to kind of focus on what I want to do as a final dissertation project. But I'm getting a lot of guidance from the faculty that are mentoring me now. I'm getting a lot of advice, and I'm really thankful for that. I don't want to talk too much because I can be real fluffy in my language, but I think that's it for me for now.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Josh. And then we have one of our wonderful master's students who is in the Higher Education Administration program, Ms. Jada Avila.
Hello. Hi, all. I'm Jada Avila. I guess what I can speak upon in my current program is that I really love the social justice component to it, because that, as an emerging scholar, that is something, especially in current day, that we need our educators to be aware of, and contribute to the higher education platform for those students that are coming out of the K-12 system into a completely new world, and also being aware of different backgrounds and upbringings and experiences that our students have at the college level. So again, we too have a cohort model. I have loved that because I don't have to learn new names every class. And also, it is a bond between us that we can't explain. We are more like brother and sister now than colleagues, so we really have to remember why we're there. You know, the family model has really increased in our cohort. For those students interested, I would really say be prepared to write a lot of papers. And see, it is a lot of writing, but a lot of the assignments allow you to put in your self interest, like my colleague was saying at the doctoral level, and it also allows you to like me, a woman of color with a lot to say. I can say that. So yeah, it has been really nice, a really eye-opening experience, because I went into it just wanting to help the higher education platform, and now education is like my passion. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about that. So.
Thank you so much, Jada. And before we move on to a question and answer, I do want to also let Dr. Mark Giles introduce himself. He is our coordinator for the Higher Education Administration program. So welcome to Dr. Giles.
Okay, well, thank you for that introduction and welcome everybody. I don't really know what to say much about me. I guess that's not really important, but I'm glad you're interested in the higher education program. We're here to answer any and all questions that you have. I guess you've already learned that, we do have a master's program as well as a doctoral program. And so I'll just answer any questions that you have. And we do have a social justice focus. I can explain that a little bit more as we go along. And if you've got questions about the curriculum or expectations of faculty, then, I'm happy to jump in on those topics as well.
Thank you so much. So now I'm opening up the floor. Does anybody have any questions? It could be directed to me, to any of the faculty, to any of our students. Hi, Javon, go ahead.
So I'll just reintroduce myself. My name is Javon Franklin. I am a rising senior at the University of Mississippi, and I am interested in going into higher education administration. I've just been looking around at different programs, And I notice a lot of programs require grad assistantships. And they also they encourage grad assistantships because it just better help with job placement once you graduate, you know, having that hands-on experience. So in terms of grad assistantships with UTSA, I was just wondering, like, what do they look like?
Okay, is that a question for me or you, Mariella, or?
You go ahead first, Mark, and then I can follow up.
Okay, well, for us, and I think different programs and different universities use some of the same language, but it might mean something different. So I'm going to clarify that first, and we'll talk about this. So at many places, when you talk about a graduate assistantship, it comes with both tuition remission, right? Or they'll pay for your tuition and some kind of monthly stipend. So that's kind of what is out there at a lot of universities around the country when you're talking about, hey, I want a graduate assistantship. At UTSA, unfortunately, it doesn't operate that way. So for us, most graduate assistantships would be part-time work. I think it's like 19 hours a week, 20 hours a week. I don't know what the salary is. I don't know how much it is, but it comes down to basically more of a part-time job. And we call that an assistantship. It does not come packaged with tuition remission or anything like that, especially for master students. I guess there are situations where if you were able to get an assistantship or get some type of situation with a particular unit, let's say with Res Life. Again, I don't know what they might be able to offer to a student who wanted to work in Res Life while they are getting their master's degree. Some of that is decentralized for us, so I can't answer that. But I know within our department, we often have some assistantships, graduate assistantships, but then those would be in the way I define them as kind of more 19, 20 hours a week for X amount of dollars per hour. And then you could hold that assistantship for, 1 year and possibly renew it for a second. At the doctoral level, it does look different. We do have fellowships, and our fellowships will come with the tuition remission and a stipend. But at the master's level, at this time, we don't have that kind of package to offer. Dr. Rodriguez, did you want to clarify, correct me or clarify or anything?
No, I'll just extend. Thank you, Dr. Giles. It was well informed. It's also just a sense that it's an opportunity for students to be able to work with faculty collaboratively, get to know us better, not only on a research level, but also on a personal level to help extend your professional networks. So we do not require students to have the graduate assistantship as master's students in our programs, but it's definitely that there are sometimes some openings, and so we put those out and encourage students to apply competitively.
Right. And the other thing I'll add to that is for our master's program, we do require internships. So we require that all of our master's students complete at least 2 internships over the 2 years that they're in the program. Or if you go part-time, it's going to take 2 years. If you're a full-time student, you'll get through it faster. But we do require 2 internships. Now, those could be paid or unpaid. And again, we do have some leads when it comes to telling students, hey, this office might be looking for an intern, or this other office might be looking for an intern. But for the most part, we ask our students to do some of that legwork to find it, but we can always point them in the right direction. We've had some students who have found paid internships. Off the top of my head, I can't tell you exactly where they were and how much, that as far as how much they earn for it. But the vast majority of people who do internships, they are unpaid internships. And this is also for professional development and to get some solid experiences that can help you when you're out on the job market.
And just to kind of jump in as well. So the way graduate assistantship work is a lot of times it's a separate application. So you apply directly with that particular area and department. And so I, with our current students, regularly send out opportunities. I know I just sent a couple out with our P20 Institute. There are 2 different opportunities, and those, and again, kind of to echo what Dr. Giles was saying, it's a lot of like 19, 20 hours a week, part-time work, and the salary ranges anywhere, I've seen anywhere from $10 to $15 to $16 an hour. It just depends on the area and what the work you'll be doing. So, and those opportunities come up. I know I think it's like the Intercultural Center has also had graduate assistantships, student activities and student affairs have had graduate assistantship opportunities. Once they come to us, we share them out too. But also a lot of times they list them on our Career Center website. It's through Handshake. And so I know through there, that's where you find, and a lot of student positions and some of those work study positions that you can also be eligible for at the graduate level. So a lot of those are all kind of centralized and listed there. But I try to share those out with all of our current students as I receive them.
And I would add one more point, that any faculty member who has a grant or outside source of funding can hire a master's student to work with them on the research. And so that is another opportunity. Those are getting fewer and farther between, as you can imagine, with all the funding crunch. But that is still an opportunity. And we have worked with master's students on our outside funding research projects too.
Hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Is there any other questions that anyone have? You're welcome to either type in the chat or unmute yourself.
Hi, I have a question. Hi, my name is Juan Ramico. I am looking into the PhD in educational leadership. My question was kind of similar to Javon about the fellowship. If you all can talk about the fellowship, what that package looks like. And then I know it was mentioned in the previous presentation about the fellowship being with faculty and doing research. Are there fellowships within like student affairs or academic affairs where it's more professional rather than research?
Right. So the purpose of our fellowships within the department is to be able to grow the next generation of scholars. And so therefore the connection with the faculty and the research development is key. What I would suggest would be an opportunity that you could consider, Juan, would be that you could do one of the internships, possibly within student affairs or within another area at the university. You might even consider maybe even doing a project with them, like handing out a survey, creating a survey, etc., that not only would touch on the points of your methodology courses in the doctoral program, but would get to that experience that you're seeking. But the fellowship specifically for our PhD are for the research emphasis with faculty. I think Joshua mentioned a little bit ago that he's been involved in several projects with our faculty members as a doctoral fellow and is able then to have a wide scope of experiences. And so not only is it part of conducting the research, but oftentimes the students, these fellows, are included in conference presentations as well as authors on publications.
Thank you. And just to follow up on the, if a student were to be working full-time in the program, what do the classes look like as far as the semester schedule?
So let me, Joanne. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Mark.
No, you go.
No, I was going to ask for help with that one, so go ahead, Mark.
Oh, well, typically, if somebody is working full-time, either they're in the higher ed area program or K-12, and we have a lot, and I would categorize it, I think that's the majority of our doctoral students are working full-time, honestly. Our natural sequence of courses would be 2 classes per semester. So 2 in the fall, 2 in the spring, then 2 in the summer, and then repeat it for the second year. That's the typical pathway. Going back to the fellowship piece, the other thing about getting a fellowship is you also commit to being a full-time student. So that means you're taking 3 classes every semester. So that's part of the kind of negotiated deal that you have to accept to get a fellowship. You can't be a part-time student and have a fellowship the way we've constructed it.
Our classes are also in the evenings. Most, if not all of our doctoral classes are taught at the downtown campus. So it's a little more centrally located. It's a little more convenient for a lot of our students that are coming in as well. So again, you'll be taking, if you're full-time, that's 3 classes, so that's 3 nights a week you'll be in class. Typically our class, you'll meet one night a week per each class.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there any other questions?
Can I add something to that Juan's last question? So Juan, how do I say this? prior to going into the program, I wanted to become some type of like director of admissions, because that's what my background was in. But as I became a fellow, I started learning more about the research aspects of administration and leadership. I've been able to find opportunities to use my research to help in the community, or to help develop a program at UTSA. So I can give you an example. I'm on a board of directors for a young nonprofit here in San Antonio. And in my first semester, I was tasked to create a literature review we advocate for education and life skills for foster youth, or youth who are currently in foster care. So with the research that I did in the classroom and with my professors, I was able to use that to develop a grant for a grant proposal for this nonprofit. And it was awarded $15,000, right? And that was just a class assignment for me. So if that's similar to what you were kind of interested in, then maybe the fellowship could be a good opportunity for you. But I've been real particular about what kind of research I'm conducting, and its implications, right, in the community, in my professional growth, or in or whatever it may be. So there is, I would say, for me personally, there has been some opportunities for me to connect, you know, my community work to my research assistantship. So, but you know, you got to pursue it. So, but yeah, I just want to share that.
Thank you for the perspective. That's a good way to put it. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you very much. Was there anybody else that has any questions? I know we answered a couple of those in the chat as well, but if you have any other questions, those specifically, just, you know, feel free to let us know. No, I know we had a couple of people that were interested in the Urban School Leaders Collaborative specific cohort, which is for our Master of Education, Educational Leadership Program. I don't know if Dr. Aguilera wants to speak a little bit about that to the couple students that were interested.
Yes, I answered that in the chat, but right now we have a cohort that's really been in play really for over 14 years, primarily with SAISD, and then most recently, the last two cohorts were in what we refer to as South Bear. That includes Harlandale, Southwest ISD, Edgewood, primarily, but we've also could include South San and Somerset. That program, those students are finishing up in December. So we'll be recruiting a new cohort to begin in spring. And I think two of the persons on board were asking about that. So we are not recruiting for that in the fall. We would recruit in the spring. There are several opportunities with that particular cohort right now, with a grant that we've partnered with. So if you are maybe a master teacher, you could be selected for that program. So, and then there's also another grant that comes in through Southwest ISD, which Dr. Merchant would be more familiar with. But there are some grant opportunities with that cohort. But in and of itself, it's a wonderful opportunity to focus on issues related to social justice and opportunities for you to present. They always present at UCA, which is an international conference, and Dr. Rodriguez, former president, can speak to that. So if you're interested specifically in USLC, then that recruiting will come in the probably September, October. You'll hear back from us.
Thank you, Dr. Aguilera, definitely. And we have lots of connections with local school districts. We have cohorts in a variety of the districts, including, as the ones Dr. Aguilera mentioned, Edgewood, San Antonio ISD, Northside, Northeast, and others that we continue to develop as well. So we have a very strong connection with our local districts and offer cohorts specifically there. On campus, we offer our Roadrunner cohort that, of course, it's students who want to come to our downtown campus, which is where Ed Leadership is housed, and take our courses on campus through the Roadrunner cohort in the master's program. In the doctoral program, all of our cohorts take their classes either at the downtown campus or main campus. We do have one off-campus doctoral program in Uvalde, Texas. And so students there take their classes at Southwest Texas Junior College via in-person or distance learning. So also very proud of that program. That's a K-12 only program. And so what the program also has to offer is that we also have connections with a variety of institutes And for example, we have the Urban Institute for Education that Dr. Mike Villarreal hosts. We also have a leadership component that right now Dr. Aleman, our department chair, is also the coordinator for. And so these are institutes that offer opportunities possibly for fellowships as well for students, but also opportunities for our students to be able to engage in the research within the mission of these institutes. So while they are part of the college and part of the department, they each have their own coordinators.
And a couple of points I'd like to add is that this faculty is very international in terms of its connections and outreach. We are collaborating on research projects with people from many different countries. And it's been mentioned several times that there are opportunities for those who are interested to do research at the master's level as well. And I don't know that Dr. Aguilera knows this yet, but out of this USLC cohort that will be graduating in January, I'm working with 11 people on a co-authored article based on some assignments that they did. And so every Monday we meet via Zoom for a little bit over an hour. And it is the most fun I have had in a long time because everybody is like totally excited. They volunteered and everybody's doing their part. So it's gonna be really fun to get that out there and have every one of their names on it. And our article has already been accepted. So based on the abstract and what we were doing. So yeah, there are a lot of opportunities to think research at the master's level, try it on, see if you like it, if it intrigues you, and to have a global view of leadership as well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Merchant. Does anybody else have any questions? No, well, it looks like that is everything that we have. I want to again thank you on behalf of the department for joining us here. We're really excited that so many of you guys are interested in our programs. And you know, if you have any questions, I'm going to drop my email really quickly in the chat. Please feel free to send me an email and I will help answer your questions or even connect you with some of the faculty if you want to talk with some of the faculty, ask them questions about their courses. But yeah, we're really excited and thank you so much for taking time out of your Saturday. I know it's a busy time of year, especially for those that are educators. This is kind of finishing up the school year for you all. So we really appreciate you all joining us and it's really awesome to see so many people interested.